Hi there everyone, it's Gloria Kremer from Oakville, Canada, and today we are going to make this card in a box. I don't know if you can, this is what it looks like. When you send it an envelope, you can squish it flat and put it in an envelope, and then when you get it, it pops up just like this, and then you can always write a message on the back. Now in my kit, I can't remember if I included a white piece for the back. If I didn't, I apologize. But the white piece for the back, I do have it in this kit that we're gonna put together. This one is 1 by 7/8 and measures lengthwise 5 1/4. So you can always cut a white piece and put it on the back of your card here and to write a message. So if my kit didn't include that, I do apologize. But let's get started. So this was part of my Easter kit. It's not super Eastery, but I figured you can still write Happy Easter and it would work. So I'm gonna put that one aside because you can't really see it while it's standing up anyways. And we're gonna get started. So the base for this card is 5 1/2 by 9 inches. And I scored it at 2 1/8, 4 1/4, 6 3/8, and 8 1/2. And then on the short side here, I scored it down the middle at 2 3/4. So again, that's 2 1/8, 4 1/4, 6 3/8, and 8 1/2. So that gives you all your score lines, and then again you score it down the middle at 2 3/4. Okay, so how we're gonna put this together is you're gonna score all those, we're gonna fold all these score lines. I think in the kits I cut the piece off for you. I'm pretty sure that's the case. And then what you have to do with this kit is you have to, on the side that doesn't have the flap here, you're gonna cut all these pieces. So this I did not do for you. This part you have to do yourself. So just make sure it's the side that doesn't have the flap that you're gonna cut these pieces right down to the center score line. Sorry, it's Monday morning. Monday morning right after daylight savings is never a good thing. The weekend somehow feels like it was much shorter than just that 1 hour that we lost. I don't know how that works, but that's just how it feels. And I really do need my coffee this morning. Okay, so now we have all these pieces, and we're gonna fold 3 of these down, and we're gonna leave this one unfolded. So what our next step is to, on the piece that isn't folded down, we are gonna glue our background piece down. And this has 2 sides, so I'm thinking I'm gonna use, I don't know, I'll use this lighter one.
Yeah. What's your question?
Sorry, you might hear my husband in the background because he's doing his meeting call, his morning meeting call. And we're going to be competing. I guess that's what happens when you work at home, and he's been working from home for a year, which is, to me, just mind-blowing. He never used to work at home, and now he's been home working for over a year, because his company actually started sending people home, I think like a week before everything started shutting down in Toronto. And he used to work right in downtown Toronto, so he would take the train. And now he doesn't have to do that. He just pretty much rolls out of bed and comes into the kitchen and starts working from the kitchen table. Okay, now we're gonna use some, I like using the tear tape for the side here. So I'm trying to do this really slow so you can see, you can watch. So basically you're going to fold it in half and just lay it flat. This way you know that when you close it, it's going to lay flat. So there's our box. It's coming along. I'm looking at my kit and I'm realizing that I don't have the two pieces that go in the middle, but we'll get to that point when we get there. So my DSP is a little different. I'm gonna use this side. When I make my kits, I try to use the DSP that I have for my sample, but sometimes I just don't have enough of the DSP for all the kits that I have to make. So I will use a different DSP, but I will always try to keep it very similar. So don't worry if your DSP doesn't look exactly like the one I'm using, or that I used in my sample. I always make sure that it's still gonna work. So. I can have Chris just take a look. And there goes my dog, because somebody's probably walking past the house. So just ignore them or press mute. My little one generally won't bark unless the larger one barks. At least I know I have some good guard dogs who will let us know if a stranger is nearby. I think dogs are better than any like alarm system that you could possibly have, because I know many people are absolutely terrified of dogs. But of course, dogs are more expensive than an alarm system, I think. Okay, so now the DSP pieces, if you want to know the measurement, they measure, let's see, 2 by 2 5/8. So these pieces are 2 by 2 5/8. And then we're actually going to need to just trim off 2 pieces for the middle, because I thought I had it, but I didn't. Okay, so the pieces for the middle are, I have here, let's see, 3, it says, okay, let's do it this way, 3 1/8, and 1/2 inch each. I'm sure I didn't even need to do a piece this big, but I panicked. Okay, and then we're gonna score it at, it says 1/2 inch. Score at 1/2 inch and 2 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. Right there. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have our little pieces here. We can stop panicking. Okay, so these 2 little strips, 1/2 inch by 3 1/8, and that's scored at 1/2 inch and 2 5/8. Now we're going to turn it into like a little Z fold. And you can use tear tape or you can use Tombow glue. It's entirely up to you. You know, I'm going to try Tombow glue with this. I don't know if it's going to be messy or not, but we're going to try to find a spot that's sort of 1/3. So you're going to cut your box into thirds using these little strips here. So I'm going to slide this down. We're going to, and then we're going to fold it. Whoops. I always fold my card in half because I want to be able to make sure that when I put it in the envelope that it folds flat. And this is how you can ensure that your card will fold flat, is to, when you add the pieces, to fold it flat. Okay, so for this one, let's try tear tape and see if it's maybe less messy. So I'm going to pull 2 pieces of tear tape. And I'm going to add it, 1 on each side. So when you get my kit, everything is very pre-scored, pre-cut. All the pieces are there, so it's very easy for you to put it together. Dog hair, sorry. So again, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to sort of divide the box in thirds. So we're going to put that piece down, and then we're going to close the box. Make sure it's lined up to the top there.
8799, yes.
Okay, so it's lined up to the top, and we're going to push it down just so that we can make sure that everything is going to lay flat when we put into our envelope. Okay, now here comes the fun part. Oh, okay, so we're gonna put our dragonfly. I like to curl up his wings a little and then just put like a dot of glue right in the center so that the wings come up. So I'm just gonna put him right there. And when you're putting together this card, just keep your envelope nearby so that when you're adding your pieces, you can check that it's gonna fit. So as you can see for this card here, I actually had to chop off a leaf because I realized when I put it together that it wasn't, the leaf sort of stuck out and it wasn't gonna fit in. So next piece is our big leaf here, and this is cut from the Forever Fern set. So I'm just going to put some Tombow glue on this, and it's going to stick to that back piece that we just put down. So can you see that? We just glued it down. Okay. And then next, we're going to grab these gold pieces. And your gold pieces will probably look a little different. I didn't have enough for everyone to have exactly the same. So we're going to put a little bit of glue. And we're just going to stick it to the back of that piece. Oops. Sometimes it just wants to stick to my finger. Okay. And then for this one, we're just going to put it right here on the side. Sometimes it works a little better with glue dots. You can sort of play around and see what works for you. Especially with these gold foil pieces. So I'm going to fold this and I'm just going to make sure that it would fit nicely in that envelope. So I had to shift it just a little, otherwise it wouldn't fold. When I fold it flat, it's not gonna quite fit. So now that I moved it, I know it's gonna be okay. So for our butterfly, if you have the butterfly Gala, you can just stamp your butterfly. I'll show you what it looks like without stamped, because not everyone will have the stamp. So I just want you to know that it's still gonna look fine. So I'm using a glue dot and I'm putting it on the back of these little strips. They don't have to be any particular size. I just cut thin strips. I don't even know what size they are. But you will probably need to like trim them down because they don't need to be that long. So then I'm going to put another glue dot here and I'm going to stick it into my box so that my butterfly is flying around. And then I'm going to do the same with this one. Decide how much of this I need. Put a glue dot on. And these are glue dots from my paper pumpkin kits. I get paper pumpkin kits and they always send so many glue dots, which is awesome. And so here's my other butterfly. And then we're gonna stamp a sentiment. I don't really know what sentiment I'm gonna use. Oh, it looks like I sort of doubled up my sentiment. Well, I'm not going to double up my sentiment on this one. I'm just going to stamp it. I'm going to use the sentiment from Sweet Strawberry. Hello there. And I'm going to use Soft Suede. You can use any color. You can use black. Really, it doesn't matter. If you wanted to, you could use just jade and it would coordinate with the green that I used. But again, it's entirely up to you. So we have our sentiment. I'm going to put a strip of adhesive on the back. So that I can put my ribbon on. And the ribbon doesn't have to be any particular way. You can, I sort of like to just randomly splotch it on. I'm going to put some dimensionals. Dimensionals to pop it up. And then we're going to slip these green pieces in. If you want to use the green side, great. If you want to use the purple side, you can use the purple side too. I think it could actually work. I'm going to try it with the purple side. So again, I'm going to make sure that this stays within the border so that when I put it into my envelope, it'll be nice and flat. And then this one, we can have it stick out a little more. And there's our finished card. And we have our little butterfly embellishment. And just be careful when you're peeling it off the backing, because sometimes the adhesive comes right off. Again, dog hair. But if the adhesive does come off, you can always just stick it back on with a glue dot or some glue. So there's our finished card. It folds flat to fit into a regular size envelope for mailing. And I think we're all done. So here's our sample. Here's what it looks like. If you have the Butterfly Gala stamp and you want to stamp your butterflies, you can. If you don't, then you can do it like this and it still looks awesome. So thanks again for joining me. Sorry this video was a little long, but have an awesome week.